I went to Chick-fil-A today. Blown away once again.
Service amazing.
10 out of 10.
Like you cannot not like a Chick-fil-A person. Nicest people in the world. Even somebody came into work. She was checking into work, asked me what I needed to drink with her purse in hand on the way to check in for work. Come on now.
That's hustle.
Come on now.
You know who would be good at Chick-fil-A?
What's up?
Aaron Kraft.
He'd be the GOAT of Chick-fil-A. Aaron Kraft would be corporate MVP
Every month.
including on Sundays. Period. Hands down.
Every location, every month.
He's asking people what they need on Monday, on Sunday, so he'll be there waiting for them, have it for them.
You know what else he would be good at?
Who? What?
He'd be a good superhero. He'd be like, what superhero would he be?
Spider-Man. Aaron Kraft would be the GOAT Spider-Man.
Better than Tom Holland?
I think he hustles harder than Tom Holland.
You're right.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Spidey senses would go off the chain.
Yeah. He has that tingle. Just like on defense when he gets after the guys. His Spider-Man tingle is equivalent to Aaron Kraft's defensive grit.
Hidden gems.
Hidden gems.
Hidden gems.
Hidden gems.
Hidden gems. Well, bless your ears, baby.
I listen to Hidden Gems every night before I go to bed.
I listen to Hidden Gems in the kitchen.
Hidden gems.
All right, we're back. We're here today, joined in the studio with Austin Mills in Los Angeles. Austin, do you hear us?
I'm here, guys.
Awesome.
What's up, Austin?
What up, fellas? What's going on?
Not a whole lot, man. About to get this thing crack-a-lacking.
Where are you guys?
Abilene.
West Texas.
West Texas.
Yep.
Everyone from West Texas is always so proud of West Texas. Like, where are you from? West Texas. All right, man. You're not from East Texas. I get it.
Well, so basically we just wanted to hear from a bunch of different perspectives in the basketball world, and we feel like you're an important one, so we're excited to have you on here.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. My story is definitely very different from a lot of other basketball players.
Right, yeah.
Sure.
It's pretty unique. So how would you – we'll start with this. How would you define yourself, occupationally or just in general in the basketball world? Do you like the term influencer, or what do you consider yourself?
Yeah, I've kind of just come into the influencer space and take advantage of it because of how powerful it is.
Right, yeah.
When I was at Baylor and I wasn't playing that much, I started doing trick shot videos in the practice gym. I spent a lot of time in the gym just in general trying to get better.
Yeah.
And because I was in the gym, I ended up just shooting trick shots and the videos went viral.
Yeah, just getting creative with it.
Yeah, exactly. And I always grew up wanting to be a TV host, and that the trick shots turned into a job with the NBA right after college, being a host and doing a video segment with them as a host. So it worked out perfect for me.
Right. So in your time at Baylor, we'll rewind a little bit because we know like you were at Pepperdine. And can you talk a little bit about your college journey and just what that entailed?
Yeah, so, kind of starting from the beginning, grew up in LA. I was always kind of less athletic and heavy set and had the long blonde hair. Never really looked like an athlete. And I was, but I was always, I could always ball. I always had the other kids kind of press up on me and steal the ball from me, but I always held my own. When I was in 8th grade, the varsity coach from Beverly High started recruiting me, and I was practicing with varsity in 8th grade, and then he bounced. I didn't. Sorry.
You're good.
Sorry. And then I was going to go to Beverly Hills High just because the coach wanted me there. So sorry, my phone is.
No, you're good. You're an influencer. We get it.
It's crazy.
Man is busy.
Right? Sorry about that. So I went to Beverly for that reason, and then the coach left. So kind of screwed me.
Yeah.
but I started as a freshman. I averaged 8 as a freshman, 12 as a sophomore, 18 as a junior, and 25 as a senior. So I kind of just got better every year.
Nice.
Began to figure things out, grew into my body a little bit, thinned out a little bit. But because I was at Beverly High and our team wasn't the best, there was only so far we could go with our team athleticism and the talent that we had. I only had so many coaches coming to watch me play. Pepperdine actually offered me a scholarship, but I was waiting it out to see if I could get like USC, UCLA. Those were kind of my dream schools.
Right, yeah.
That didn't happen. I ended up with no more offers by the time my senior year was over. So I ended up going back to Pepperdine and saying, "Listen, I didn't take your offer, but I'd be glad to walk on. I want to stay close to home and have my family come watch me play, and I wanted to go somewhere where I would have an opportunity to play."
Right, yeah, of course.
So I ended up at Pepperdine. My very, very, very first official practice at Pepperdine, I broke my thumb, which put me out for like 2 months. But my first game back, they put me in the game, and I knocked down the 3 the first time I touched the ball.
Nice.
Which is pretty funny. I ended up starting a couple games as a freshman, played in basically every single game that I was back for. And then my sophomore year, the head coach recruited a kid who he automatically put ahead of me. And I went down to like 8 minutes a game from what was like 12. So instead of going up, I digressed.
Right. Man, that's tough.
The whole atmosphere, the people I met were great, but we had no fans at our games. No one cared about sports. I couldn't get any gym time. I could never work out on my own. So I decided I was going to transfer. I just took a risk. I was like, screw it. Someone will take me.
Yeah.
I ended up playing in a pickup game in LA with Perry Jones, who was just had finished at Baylor.
Exactly. Yeah, that's cool.
And he's like, "Bro, you're a baller. I want to tell the coaches at Baylor about you." I was like, "Whatever, man." This NBA player is telling me that some coaches want me. I was like, "Whatever." Yeah. Next day, I get a call from one of the assistants asking if I can fly out to Baylor. So I ended up taking the trip out to Baylor, balled out. I played one-on-one with Royce O'Neal, Ishmael Wainwright, and another ex-Baylor basketball player, and almost beat them up to 30. Full court one-on-one.
Sheesh.
Woo!
That's a test.
Yeah, it was, boy. And I was like, on flight, I could barely breathe.
That's crazy.
And so, yeah, the coaches wanted me to go there and told me I had an opportunity to play, and the facilities were amazing and the people were amazing. So I was like, screw it, I'm just going to take this risk and go to Baylor. And, it turned out great for me. My junior year, I played a decent amount. I thought I was going to play a lot more my senior year, but, I really believe in everything happens for a reason. I put in a ton of time in the gym, and it ended up working out for me in a different way than I thought. But,
yeah.
I got to stay home and make better money than I would have made overseas and do what I love, and now I'm on that path to be a TV host and doing the influencer stuff, and I love it.
Nice.
That's really cool. And for those that don't know, that's kind of how I'm connected with Austin in a way. My brother-in-law, Sam Patterson, coached him at Baylor when he was there during that time. We're both better shooters than Sam. So
most definitely.
Yeah, no question about that.
He always claimed that he was the GOAT in horse, but would never play me.
Oh, yeah. No, he knew better than that.
Right?
Yeah. For those who don't know, Austin was, one of the best shooters to come through Baylor.
We used to run scout team. Manu Lecomte and I. Manu was the point guard. After I left, he was the starting point guard, and we would just torch the defense.
Right, yeah.
So, Austin, at what point did you figure out that maybe, being this, did you ever envision yourself being this popular and the trick shot stuff taking off?
Never. I always did some Instagram stuff in high school, a little bit at Pepperdine. I understood that, people wanted an inside look into others' lives, especially people that are doing cool things. And then, I kind of just let life take its course and just roll with the punches. You can never get, I would get really down on myself because I put so much time. There was nobody on any team that I played for that ever worked harder than me. I spent more time in the gym than anybody. So for me, I always wanted to see results, and sometimes it didn't happen that way. Kind of always being the underdog, I didn't necessarily play as much as I wanted to, or whatever. So I kind of just went with the flow and rolled with what was happening. I just spent time in the gym, and when the trick shot stuff started to happen, I kind of just stayed consistent with it and realized that there was a path. And when the NBA reached out, I realized I had something. And now it's just gotten to a crazy level. I've met insane people through it and just continue to grow. And I mean, I never would have thought that through social media I would have all these fans and people that watch my stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy how social media has just changed like basketball as a whole. It's just a completely different environment that it is now. It's unbelievable.
If I would have had all these little like Ball is Life and like Ball is Life, I was just starting when I was in high school towards the end. But if I would have had all these damn mixtape companies and all this content out there, I mean that's what gets a lot of these kids looks to these colleges is all these stupid mixtapes. Every kid has a mixtape. Like, and the way you edit it, they could have made me look like LeBron.
So how are you not a big fan of all the Ball is Life and the hype mixtapes that are going on these days with like the high schoolers and everything that's been?
I just think at this point it's like played out. You know?
I agree.
I mean, they can make a mediocre,
and
low
they all just do it for the virality of it now, and they all just do it for the views. So every video you see is some 12-year-old kid dunking the crap out of the ball.
Right.
Honest, I don't really care about that. Like, cool, you can dunk. You were born able to dunk. Like, I want to see kids that can actually hoop, that can handle, that can pass, that can shoot. I don't care about all this dunking and stuff, man. It's played out.
You sound like an old head talking about this younger generation.
I mean, I don't know what these kids are eating, but I wish I had it when I.
Gotta eat your Wheaties, man.
It's insane. Either Wheaties or HGH.
So take us through getting that call from the league, and you now realizing that this is like something that's a reality and everything. Take us through that.
Yeah. So one day I got it actually, and you know what's crazy? I tell people all the time. I've gotten more business from my DMs than anything else.
Wow.
And the NBA, they had a representative from the NBA slide in my DMs.
So one way to do it?
Dude, it was like we're doing this series and we're interested in having you. And it was perfect timing because it was right when I graduated. So I just basically took on the opportunity. I did one job at a time. We ended up doing a series of 6. I think they were going to test me out and see how they liked me on the first one and just kind of killed the first one. And then just continued to go on with the rest and realized kind of after that there was really a market for this stuff. Nice. And it's interesting because in the social media world, you don't necessarily see like a direct payoff from certain things.
Right.
It's a very long process of putting out content. At that time, I was putting out content like 5 or 6 days a week. Now it's a lot less because I work with brands and the algorithm's all messed up. So I'm now more like quality over quantity at this point. But I still put a lot of time and effort into putting high quality content out on my channels.
Cool.
Now, is there any? We talk about like college and how the NBA thing like has just taken off, but aside from that Baylor experience where you got that notoriety, has there been anything, not necessarily that's been the biggest thing for you from a publicity standpoint, but anything that's kind of changed the way that you go about your business or like a special experience that you've had that have kind of been very meaningful for you in all of these experiences that you've gotten to have?
Everything kind of plays a role in the whole process. That's the beauty of it. I think the process is what makes everything so good, and especially in our world, it's in freelance. Tomorrow is not promised. You don't know what new job or what you won't. 1 month I might be super busy. The next month I might have nothing.
Yeah.
So the ups and the downs and the process is what makes it all dope. A couple in particular. I mean, obviously being at Baylor was big for me. There was a period where I probably grew 20,000 in like a couple months.
Man, that's crazy.
Which was, there was a point where I was getting like 2,000 to 3,000 followers every new trick shot video.
Man, that's insane when you think about it.
Dang.
Yeah, and I wish that was still the case. I'm veering a little bit away from trick shots now, just because that's a younger demographic, and I'm trying to get into an older demographic now.
Right, with TV hosting, everything that you want to do ahead. Yeah, and I mean it's interesting to see like these new guys coming in to that role, and you and all these other influencers kind of expanding into new territory, because everything's always changing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way that social media goes. That's what it is. Everything wants to be new and exciting. So
there's certain people that stick with it and just go all out. Like if you look at Dude Perfect, those guys hammer. I didn't know that many people cared about trick shots. Have like 40 million subscribers or something absurd.
yeah.
They're making like at least $5 to $10 million each a year.
Man, that's crazy.
Those guys killing the game, and good for them. I don't know if I could do trick shots for my life. That's not really.
I've wondered how sustainable that can be. But I mean, you've seen them get into other stuff with their tour and everything else. So there's different creative marketing ways. So we've heard like kind of the exciting parts of this journey that you've had, but one thing that we want our viewers especially to realize, and that we want to really dig into, is kind of like how hard it was for you to get to this point. And just like you talk about getting these thousands of followers from these trick shots, but what are the really hard aspects of what you've had to do and the grind that you've been through to get where you are today?
Definitely a little bit about what we touched on before is being that underdog. Just always overlooked, man, because of size, because of athleticism. I was never the most athletic. I had to find different ways, and a lot of kids ask me this on social about my career and just about playing in general, is like, how can I become a D1 player? How can I get so good? How can I do this? How can I do that? You have to figure out a way that you can make yourself successful. Like, what makes yourself good? What makes yourself different? And for me, from an early age, especially when I was like fat, when I was a little kid, I had to shoot the crap out of the ball.
Right.
And like me and my dad putting up thousands of reps together, like me missing birthday parties as a little kid, crying with my dad because I was missing birthday parties because he wanted me to be in the gym, but so worth it. Like, that time you put in is so worth it. And then as I got older, because I could shoot the crap out of the ball and had that kind of like people knew me for that, they had to come out and guard me, which then created a lane for me to either score or pass in the lane.
Right. Yeah.
The floor.
Definitely. And luckily, my dad took me out. I used to play at a gym where they called me white boy. And that's because I was literally the only white kid in the entire. Yeah, right. But that made me so much better because I was playing with all super, super athletes. And so I had to figure out a way. Listen, if I'm going to survive on this court right now, I got to find a way to make it.
Right.
Because they're not going to respect me for my speed. They're going to have to respect me for my shot or my defense or my ball handling, something else that sets me apart from the rest. And that made me so much better playing with better guys. And, they drilled us on the track, and I just got better overall in every aspect that way. But if I were to say one thing in particular, it would just be focus on one thing and be good at that one thing, and then start to develop the rest around it.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's nice.
And I mean, you still play. Like, people see all the social media stuff, but you still hoop too.
I do play a lot. I play in a couple adult leagues over here. I play in the charity game just for content, and then some celebrity games depending on what they are. I'm at the point where there's a lot of these, unless it's for charity, a lot of these celebrity games, I don't necessarily want to play it anymore unless, they're taking care of us to come to the games, just because I've played in so many at this point. It's like there's, unless I'm doing it for really need content, I've played in enough.
Right, yeah.
Sure.
It's funny because I was talking to my high school coach the other day, and he's wanted me to go play basketball overseas. He was one of my biggest believers, obviously, and he asked me the other day if I still get the itch to go play. And of course I do. I know that I can hoop. I know that I can play overseas and climb up the ranks, but, I'm focused on a mission right now and want to be the best at that.
Right, man. I mean, we're going to have some overseas guys over here on the podcast, and it's kind of eye-opening because that's the goal for a lot of, okay, I'm not going to the NBA, I'm going to go overseas, but then they don't think about, like, all that entails, and like the things that you can do over here and still be involved in the game can a lot of times be a lot better than like no family, don't know the language. Like it's a whole new world.
That overseas grind is it's a whole nother world. It's the quality of living in a lot of those places is not good.
Right.
The food is not good. The language barrier, you can't talk to anyone. You're lonely as hell. You're away from your family. You're away from your friends. And I love living in LA. So I'm blessed to grow up here and live here. I would never live anywhere else unless I, had to for work.
Right.
But in some of those teams, they don't even pay their players. Like I'm not going to some random ass place and having no friends, and then you're not going to pay me on top of it. No.
Yeah, not so sweet. Not so sweet.
No, it's not what everybody thinks it is.
So Austin, if you had one thing to tell the younger generation, these younger hoopers, these aspiring hoopers or influencers or guys that want to make it with the game of basketball in some capacity, what would you tell them? What would be your advice?
It's kind of cliche, but honestly, from day one, I've been going and watching basketball games since I was 2 years old. It's like you got to live and breathe the game. It's a lot of these kids now think that stuff just happens overnight, and they're kind of screwed. Like I played video games, but not like these kids are playing video games now.
Right.
You really got to live and breathe, whether you're like I used to wake up at 6 a.m. before school in middle school, like when I was a child, and go put up shots before school. And then at lunch, I'd be playing basketball with the kids at lunch. And then after school, I'd be putting up shots. And then I'd go home and like watch film or watch basketball games or look up stats. Like you honestly just have to live and breathe the game and pay attention to all the basketball going on around you, watching guys. The amount of YouTube videos I used to watch on like Steve Nash, Jason Williams.
Oh, yeah, the good ones.
The players that I wanted to be, I used to watch hours of film. And then when your games come, you got to prepare, watch film before, eat the right things, go to sleep at the right time. Like it's just all a process. It's a dedication. If you want to be that good, you gotta do it all.
That's the name of the game. Got to be a nerd.
That's cool. And I mean, even for you, like you said, it applies to kids these days. Like you don't know what your path will be, but you set yourself up for success doing those things, even indirectly and directly to what you do now.
Well, and sports will do that for you. Sports keeps you away from all the drugs, all the alcohol, all the distractions of other things going on. Sports really puts you in that focus and that mindset, and it also allows you to create so many opportunities for yourself, whether it's networking or it's just the world of basketball is such a small world, and you can meet so many cool people because of it, and people respect you. Like you might meet, for example, if a billionaire that lives in Beverly Hills that went to Beverly High basketball games to watch me play and respected the shit out of me as a basketball player, now he would set up a meeting with me to meet with me about something I might want to do with him, or he might invest with me because he was in awe of how good I was at basketball and respected the hard work I put in. Like that's
Right.
just how how the world works.
The game takes you everywhere.
It really does.
It's a special game, the best game on earth.
Speed round?
Speed round.
All right, before we let you go, we're going to ask you a few non-basketball questions. We've been talking about basketball most of the time, but we want to get to know the real Austin.
All right, I'm a little nervous.
You ready?
Go ahead.
Favorite restaurant?
Oh, I'll just say a generic one so everyone can know because there's holes in the wall here, but I'll say In-N-Out.
All right, give me a hole in the wall.
We got a place called Craig's here, which is fire. Food is bomb.
L.A., check out Craig's.
Yeah, do it.
Celebrity crush.
Oh man,
That's tough.
that's really tough. Selena Gomez, Emily Ratajkowski.
Oh, here we go.
Ring them off. Ring them off.
Right, I got a bunch. Jessica Alba I used to be in love with.
Pet peeve.
Man, these are hard. Probably people that either drink or chew things very loudly.
Oh, man, I can't stand that.
Yeah, drives me nuts.
Favorite sneaker.
Oof. I got a couple different ones. Kobe 8 for playing basketball. It's the
Solid.
It's the best basketball shoe ever. Jordan 9 is one of my favorites. It's the first ever Jordan I ever had as a kid.
Okay.
And I wear Vans all the time.
Favorite city in the world?
You can't say L.A.
Not L.A.
Oh man, that's not fair. Outside of LA, I'd say Vegas. I love Vegas.
All right.
Okay.
Not for more than 2 days, but I love Vegas for a quick trip. I love going there.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate it. I know our viewers will love hearing you. Pleasure having you.
Yeah, Austin. Appreciate it. Thanks again, man.
I hope we get 1 million views to this.
Check him out on Instagram, Twitter. We'll put the links up. We'll put the bios up. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Austin.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Next episode on the Hidden Gems podcast, we sit down with Luke Cooper, a pure sweat skills trainer in Los Angeles, California.
We're talking about pros, how to train pros, food, celebrity crushes.
You name it.
You name it, we gonna talk about it. Hidden Gems.